everyone, this is Journey of To My Journey. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. And today my video is going to be about how I brew my water kefir. I started brewing water kefir back in the beginning of December of 2012, and the reason why I started brewing the water kefir is because I was online trying to figure out how to make raw vegan cheese, and one of the ingredients called for water kefir. Never heard of it before, so I started researching water kefir and found out that it's a natural probiotic that's really good for your internal flora and your digestive tract. Sorry about that. So I ordered some grains, some water kefir grains from online, got them, and I started brewing them, and I must say I definitely fell in love with water kefir grains and the whole process of brewing the grains. There's two types of kefir grains. There's water kefir, obviously what this video is about, and there's also milk kefir grains, which you would use. You could use cow's milk or you could use goat's milk, and they have the same types of actions that they do, which they're both natural probiotics and good for your digestive tract and internal flora. If you've seen my previous video, you know that cow's milk and I don't get along, so I cannot drink it. So therefore I ordered the water kefir, which thrives off of sugar. Water kefir loves sugar. So the type of sugar you get determines the health of your water kefir grains. You want to get sugar that's very high in mineral content, like sucanat or rapadura. I did not have access to that at my store or at any of the grocery stores in the area in which I live. So what I did was I just purchased some organic cane sugar, which my grains, they seem to thrive on. I mean, they tripled, quadrupled even within a matter of less than 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks. So they definitely love the organic cane sugar. I've even read that some people use regular white sugar for their kefir grains. So it's up to you the type of sugar that you use, but you just want to bear in mind that the higher the sugar is in its mineral content, the healthier your grains will be. When you're brewing the kefir grains, you want to make sure that you do not brew them in any metal containers. Metal is reactive. That could definitely harm your kefir grains. You also don't want to brew in any plastic containers because the kefir grains are acidic in nature, so it can actually start to wear down the plastic, and that plastic will leach into your kefir water. So you don't want to do that, because then you'll be drinking those chemicals. When you see the video, you will see that I do use plastic bowls and plastic containers, because again, you cannot use metal, no metal utensils, no metal containers, nothing. So although I do use the plastic utensils and plastic containers, I transfer the sugar water and the kefir grains to a glass jar for brewing purposes. Water. The water that you want to use is either filtered or spring water. You do not want to use tap water. Tap water has chlorine in it, and the chlorine can definitely harm your grains. If you don't have access to filtered water or to spring water, what you can do is you can boil a pot of water to boil the chlorine out of it, or you can put some water, some tap water, in a big bowl and let it sit out for a few hours, thereby letting the chlorine evaporate out of the tap water, and then you can use it to brew your kefir grains. But again, you do not want to use tap water straight from the tap. That definitely will harm your grains. Also, to speak to the sugar, if you want to grow your kefir grains, if you intend to grow your kefir grains, again, you want to use the sugar that's high in the mineral content, like the sucanat or rapadura, or even organic cane sugar like I use. And you also want to include less than a pinch of baking soda and less than a pinch of Celtic sea salt, which I will also speak to in the video itself. And other than that, just sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and if you have any questions or comments, just put them down below. Another thing I forgot to mention, or forgot to show you, is I wanted to show you what the grains look like before I went into the how-to video. So just really quickly, this is the 1 quart mason jar right here. You see the grains at the bottom and the sugar waters on top. This sugar water, the reason why it's so dark brown is because I added unsulfured molasses, which also has high mineral content in it. My grains absolutely love this. And then also I wanted to show you what the grains themselves look like. So this is the Water Kefir grains. They're opaque in color, and these were grains that just had regular organic cane sugar in. I used that just for storage, and I popped it in the refrigerator, put the grains in sugar water, put it in the refrigerator so that they wouldn't grow, but they also would not die. At least I hope they didn't, because I left them in for a month and a half and they were only supposed to be in for about a week or so. But these are what the grains look like themselves. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you was what the grains look like when they've been sitting in the sugar water that has the unsulfured molasses. So this is what they look like. They're dark brown in color. This is what they look like. So the grains actually take on the color of the sugar water that you put them in to brew. That's what I wanted to show you. So again, if you want to see how I made this, then please stay tuned. All right, thank you everyone for joining me. I'm just going to show you how I brew my Water Kefir grains. Sorry about that. So obviously you're going to need kefir grains. So notice I have 2 very large bowls of kefir grains, and that was because I initially was growing them. So this is what the grains look like. This is what they look like. Depending upon the type of sweeteners that you use, they'll be anywhere from an off-white to a goldish color to a dark brown. They could be beige. It really does. They take on the color of the sweetener that you're using. And this is the other bowl that I have. Now, if you notice, the containers and the utensils that I'm using are all plastic, but I don't keep them in this plastic. They're just here so that I can combine my ingredients, and then I actually brew my kefir grains in glass. So this is a 1-quart glass jar for brewing small batches of kefir. This is a 1-gallon glass jar for brewing larger amounts of Water Kefir. And this bad boy right here, I think it might be about 2 gallons. I think it's 120 something ounces. I can't really remember how many ounces it is, but it brews a lot of kefir. Notice it has a spout here. This is actually one of those containers that you can pick up from like a Walmart or a Target. You can make drinks in it, and then you can have parties and people can pour their own drinks with the spout. I use it for brewing kefir grains because I got this amount of Water Kefirs, growing them in less than a month. Oh wow, it was crazy. Okay. Other items you'll need, you need your tablespoon and your 1-quart teaspoon, which I don't really, your tablespoon, this is the tablespoon, and your 1-quart teaspoon, which I don't really use that often, but just in case you might need it. This is actually a turkey baster, but I use it to stir. I use it to stir in small quart jars when I'm dealing, or I even use it with the gallon jars. But when it comes to the really large jar, I use the plastic spoon for stirring. Okay. Mineral-rich molasses. I don't have sucanate or rapadura sugar. I have to order that online. I didn't feel like doing it, so I just picked up some molasses. Make sure if you're using molasses, it is unsulfured molasses. This is all natural, unsulfured molasses that I picked up from Walmart. I am using sugar, but this is organic cane sugar. Okay, USDA grade organic cane sugar. So this is what I'm using. My grains absolutely love this sugar, obviously, from the amount that I got in like 3 weeks time. So also some Celtic sea salt. I have to pick up some more Celtic sea salt, but this has lasted me for 2 years because I really don't use a lot of salt in my food. So, yeah, some Celtic sea salt. And this is also for if you're growing your kefir grains. This adds minerals to the water so that they can thrive. They eat the minerals in the sea salt, as well as baking soda, which is this is what sodium bicarbonate. Yes, sodium bicarbonate baking soda. So this when you're using only 1 quart to add to the kefir water, you use less than a pinch. You do not need a lot of either one of these 2 ingredients if you're growing. If you're not growing your kefir grains, you can just leave these ingredients out completely. Other items that you'll need: your measuring cups. This is a glass measuring cup, and these, of course, are plastic measuring cups. And coffee filters. You can pick these up at the 99-cent store or the dollar store in your area. Coffee filters. This is just to cover the opening because you don't want to put a metal top or anything on your kefir grains while they're brewing. You don't actually want to use metal at all because metal is reactive and there's a lot of acidic things going on with the kefir. And since plastic is, since there is a lot of acidic things going on with the kefir, you don't want to use plastic because the acid will wear on the plastic. So without further ado, let's get started. When you're first starting out, oh, one other thing I forgot, water. Do not use tap water for your kefir grains. It will kill the grains because of the chlorine in the tap water. Use a water filter like a Pure or a Brita, or if you have another type of water filter system, that's fine. Or you can use spring water. If you don't have access to a water filter or spring water, what you can do is you can boil your water to boil the chlorine out and then let it sit to cool off. Once it's cool in that room temperature, you can use that for making your water kefir. Or what you can do is you can get a bowl of water, put the tap water in the water, and then just let it sit for a few hours so that the chlorine can evaporate.